Welcome back, guys, to Phoenix Wright Spirit of Justice, where with Simon Blackwell having joined Athena on the defense's bench, we continue on with the testimony of Uendo, talking about his teacher, his Shisho's dying message. However, he's just delivered a pun, so let's press about the silly puns that he's always doing, shall we? That's right, I need you to give your testimony, not perform a scene. Please remember you're on the witness stand, not the stage. But look at all these wonderful people in the audience. It's only natural for an entertainer to want them to have some fun. I guess we can let a few jokes slide, right?
Ah, the inevitable bleeding of your work into other areas of your life. I know how that is. I find myself being unwittingly judgmental in my personal life too.
Right. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Well done, Your Honor. Guess you can't judge a judge by his cover.
Ho ho ho. I advise the defense not to be so critical of the witness.
Yes, Your Honor. Much obliged. Woohoo! Anyway, I got the meaning right away. I knew it must have been talking about Bucky.
Hold it!
Those cards on the table, really. The cards do spell out wet number 4, which could be interpreted as wet noodle number 4, I guess. It's too kind of dead on, to be fair. I suppose you took this to mean Bucky Wet. There's only one wet noodle around here, and you've seen that giant 4 on his back. It's the only interpretation that makes sense. Yeah, I guess so. But wait a minute. What is it? You got fans in your hair? What if there's another wet noodle in the area? What? Did I say something strange?
Bucky is the sole heir to the shop. So enough with the ludicrous straw grasping.
Hey! How was I supposed to know?
Just listen to the testimony again and find the glaring inconsistency.
Sorry? We haven't got through the testimony yet. That was the master's final message. Lefty was drowning in sober broth.
Ah, ha ha ha.
Hold it!
So the victim lined up those cards in his final moments. How can you be so certain that that's how it went down? I know Shisho. He would never let someone get the last word on him, even in death. With his face in the sober broth and his consciousness fading away, he left a message that pointed toward Bucky as he left this world. How can he have his face in a bowl and be able to see what he's doing? It's the only way it could have happened. Wait, the only way? Now you're just speculating. Look, a dying message is something you leave as you're dying, right? I saw a scene like that in a detective show. Uendo, we have a saying in my country, silence is more precious than diamonds. Please do not speak any more than is necessary. But talking is my livelihood, you know. I talk all the time. This and that, truths and untruths. I can't stop myself from talking. Hopefully he'll stick to the truths without any of those untruths.
I think that's where we're looking at, though.
It's so like Shisho not to write Bucky's name outright. Plain and simple wasn't his style. But how did he write in the first place? Right, you're saying he drowned in sober broth. However, the autopsy report itself says while the cause of death was suffocation, nothing was found in his lungs, which sounds more like he was strangled than drowned.
Objection!
Definitely. There's a contradiction in Uendo's testimony.
And would you care to explain where, Miss Sykes?
Certainly, Your Honor. According to the autopsy report, nothing unusual was found in the victim's lungs.
Ah, yes, it does say that, doesn't it?
If he had drowned in a bowl of soba, then there should have been sober broth in his lungs. But since there wasn't any, it means the victim was suffocated with something other than sober broth.
Of course, there was no strangle mark, so pillow over his head? I don't know. What?
This is the contradiction you notice, isn't it, Simon?
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Hahaha, I guess I showed you.
But if drowning in the sober broth wasn't the cause of death, Then when was the victim's face thrust into that bowl?
Typhoon Tornado's face was thrust into the bowl, well, it'd probably be after the murder. To make it look like something else. Because no sober broth was discovered in the victim's lungs, his head must have been placed into the bowl after he was killed. And that's when the sober broth must have been spilled onto the Karuta cards. In other words, the victim could not have lined the cards up as he was drowning.
I see. So it was done after he was already dead. But why would the culprit do such a thing? And why is there such jazzy music on right now?
I'm afraid I don't know yet. I have a question.
Objection.
You boast of psychological expertise, yet you cannot determine such a simple motive. No satira. My sides are liable to spread the absurdity. What? And I suppose you know why? Of course. Desecrating the body in that manner indicates a strong sense of enmity on the part of the perpetrator.
Yes, that does make sense. It certainly paints a clear picture of the culprit's intense feelings toward the victim.
Feelings of resentment over the theft of the sober shop's deed, no doubt. Just great. Now the judge has an even more unfavorable impression of Bucky.
Silence.
Must you come undone at every juncture? If the culprit had time enough to set up Master Tornado's body, do you think they would honestly have failed to notice the dying message?
Good point. The cards were right in front of his body, after all. Rationally speaking, there's no way the culprit could have missed that, huh?
Objection.
But was the accused rational at the time, given the way he stormed out of that room?
Silence.
Never mind that. I have something more important to ask Uendo.
But me?
You saw the Karuta cards firsthand, did you not? Would you care to tell us about them in a bit more detail? Those tiny crime scene photos show us precious little of what I wish to know.
Well, those cards are from Shisho's special Soba Scenes of Tokyo Pass set. Each card is related in some way to Soba.
Spare me the history lesson. Just tell me how the cards looked at the scene and no more.
Well, there was soba broth spilled all over them.
That's not much help, I'm afraid. But could I add Maddie? Do you have a photo that shows the cards more clearly?
I do. Please accept this meager offering, Your Honor.
Oh my! What delightful looking cards! Well, well. Tearing prosecutor Sad Monk's conclusive evidence apart should be a breeze with this.
Huh? Huh? Huh?
Huh? Huh? Huh?
Oh! I was like going, what? Huh? What? Huh? So there's obviously something really easy to see, and there really is.
Don't tell me you haven't noticed. Well, I noticed now.
Don't be silly. Of course I have. Not noticed anything, but I can't exactly say that now, can I?
Karuta cards have been added to the court record. They spell out wet number 4? Do they now? Miss Sykes, do you really see a problem with the prosecution's claim about these cards? Well, go on then.
Alright. It's do or die. All I have to do is study the picture and... these cards
Were rearranged.
These cards were rearranged.
But how can you tell?
Please take a good look at these cards, Your Honor. The answer is right in front of us.
Where exactly should we be looking, Miss Sykes?
Oh, we're not actually pointing. The pictures on the cards, the sober broth stains, or the size of the cards. If you look, their staining is irregular, as if they've been completely changed around. And that will tell us what it really meant before. Please focus your attention on the sober broth stains on these cards. The outline of these stains don't match up with the larger stain on the table.
Oh, would you look at that? You're absolutely right. And...
Please recall that sober broth was spilled and got on the cards after the murder, when the victim's face was placed in the bowl.
yes, go on.
By the stains, we can see that the culprit deliberately rearranged the cards after that. In other words, this message was altered in order to pin the crime on my client.
What? Then if we put the cards back in their original positions...
We can restore the evidence and see who the cards were really pointing toward.
That's true.
Then, what are we waiting for? Let's do this. All I have to do is rearrange the cards so that the stains match up. Let's see. Where was this W card originally?
So the W card would have been here.
Perfect. Okay, the H card is next. Let's see. Where was this H card originally?
Well, that's the bottom right. Is it definitely that one, or is it the one... It's definitely that one. Just wondering if it's the one a little bit further along.
Yes, now the E card. Let's see. Where was this E card originally?
Well, that looks like here, then.
A perfect match. Next up is the T card. Let's see. Where was this T card originally?
Now, this one's the bottom one down here.
Great. That fits right in there. Now the N card. Let's see. Where was this N card originally?
Up the top.
Right. There. That looks good. Now O.
Top left.
Nice. Almost done now. The last card is 4. Let's see.
Where was this 4 card originally? Well, this one's completely stained. Apart from a tiny corner, there's only one place to put it. We had to take that out of here, do we?
So the message, wet number 4, was originally supposed to say Owen 4th. And this original message is our clue to the identity of the true culprit.
What? That indignant look on Prosecutor Sadmonk's face is positively priceless. This is absurd. So it was originally Owen 4th. It wasn't wet number 4. Maybe the lawyer is smarter than we thought. Hey, come to my side. Order in the court. Well, I never would have imagined that there was more to these cards than meets the eye. The Karuta cards have been updated in the court record. They originally spelled out Owen 4th for shown. So now that that's settled, what does this Owen 4th mean?
Wait, am I?
Who else do you suppose is to provide an explanation? Of course it's you.
But I hadn't thought that far yet. Change the cards around all you'd like.
But if you cannot explain what the message means, then it is as worthless as you are, defense.
No! And so the spring chick that fancies herself a graceful swan is brought back down to earth. I had to do something, but what?
Still your thoughts for a second. There's a perfectly good witness to question over there.
Oh, right. That's a good idea. Come on, Athena. Get a hold of yourself. Uendo, does the phrase Owen 4th mean anything to you? No. There's no one named Owen in the Tornado family, or our circle of friends. Go ahead, ask anyone you like. You can't be serious. Having rummaged through your empty mind, I see you have, as expected, turned up nothing.
Silence.
I'm afraid I have no idea who the devil this Owen 4th is either. But the fact remains that the cards were rearranged to pin the blame on Mr. Wet. That in itself proves that the defendant isn't the real culprit.
Yeah, double slap. Prosecutor Blackwell is right. Besides, the important question here is not who does the message point to, but rather who rearranged the cards.
Why didn't you point that out earlier if you already knew?
Sorry. In any case, there were 2 opportunities for someone to rearrange the cards. The first was when Mr. Wet entered the dressing room, and the second was when Uendo discovered the body. Are you accusing me of rearranging the cards? Me? Who came to testify of the goodness of my heart?
Well, you didn't exactly come running out screaming straight away, did you? Even a mere 2 to 3 minutes is more than enough time to get up to some devilry. So what exactly were you doing in there, Uendo? Put down the tea and spit out your answer.
Ah! Mr. Prosecutor, what's a guy supposed to do at a time like this? Silence is more precious than diamonds, witness. Therefore, you need only stay silent. The defense is devious. They are waiting for you to make a slip of the tongue. Oh, I see. So that's what they're after, is it? In that case, Your Honor, I've decided not to say another word. Very good. After all, your right to remain silent is protected by law. Well, Prosecutor Blackwell, any other brilliant ideas you'd like to share?
Did you hear that, Sykes Dono? A Rakugo artist is afraid to speak. Who's ever heard of such a thing?
Are you trying to taunt him into talking? Such a petty trick will never work. That's right. I'm not going to fall for it.
I'm only asking to hear your story. Besides, it's not your job to tell your tales if there's an audience to listen.
Even so, I have the right to refuse to answer.
The more you keep quiet, the more we want you to talk. That's simply human nature. Isn't that right, people of the gallery? Even with this wonderful audience in front of you, you still refuse to talk. If so, then perhaps you chose the wrong line of work, my friend.
Are you saying I should quit? Because I'm not afraid to speak my mind, I'll have you know. Oh no, never mind what I just said. It is scary to talk. It's absolutely terrifying. But no, as a Rakugo artist, I must talk. If I don't, how can I ever show my face on stage again? Your Honor, I'm ready to testify. He did it! He managed to convince Uendo with his power suggestion technique!
Bully for you, Uendo. That's as real a Rakugo artist should be. Alright. If the witness wishes to testify, then by all means please do.
To be turned by such an obvious ploy. What a man of weak spirit. Right, what testimony are we getting this time? He says as he sits up straight, ready to examine. After my performance, I went to visit Shisho. I called to him from outside the room, but he didn't reply. When I entered the dressing room, I saw Shisho slumped over the table, motionless. From what I can tell, there do not appear to be any inconsistencies in the testimony. Of course there aren't any, because I'm not trying to hide anything. Prosecutor said Maddie's right. I don't see anything inconsistent either. But I did pick up on some faint discord in Uendo's heart. Upon all, you would like defense, but it is pointless. Your Honor, I believe there is no need for further deliberation.
Hold it!
I disagree, Your Honor. I detect discord in the voice of the witness's heart. That's a clear indication the Uendo is facing some sort of inner turmoil.
Are you saying what I think you're saying, Miss Sykes?
Yes, Your Honor. The defense would like to conduct a quick therapy session on this witness.
Objection.
It's not so much therapy as it is just completely plucking things out of people. Uendo, there is no need for you to submit to this so-called therapy. It's fine by me. I have nothing to hide. Bring it on. Impetuous fool. Why will you not listen to the guidance of this humble servant of the Holy Mother?
If the witness wishes to proceed, I see no problem, prosecutor. In one ear and out the other. It seems this performer has no need for your so-called guidance, prosecutor sad monk.
Just know this, Uendo. Your folly will surely earn you divine retribution. Thanks, Simon. I'm going to make the most of this opportunity you created for me.
Let's keep your wits about you.
I will. Uendo, could you tell us again about what happened in the dressing room?
It's Moon Matrix time.
After my performance, I went to visit Shisho. I called him from outside the room, but he didn't reply. When I entered the dressing room, I saw Shisho slumped over the table motionless. There's nothing up with any of that, is there? I didn't really notice any unexpected emotions in that testimony.
But it isn't always a question of the presence of an emotional response, but the absence. Ah, good point.
You know, you're right. It's not always the emotions I do see. Sometimes it's a matter of what I don't, but would expect to see. I better carefully compare Uendo's statements to his emotions again.
I know exactly where I'm going now. Let's move forward to the last statement here.
And find that there is a complete and utter absence of surprise.
Got it!
Uendo, I'm noticing something strange with these emotions. Something stranger with cheesy toast skin, you say? No, something strange with these emotions. How could you have heard something strange with cheesy toast skin? Was that an anagram? I don't know. Maybe it's me who got some cheese in my ears. Did he wheel the floor to open up and swallow his cushions out of shame for that bad joke? The point I'm trying to make is that I noticed something unexpected in your emotions. Now stop hiding and come out where we can see you.
Bailiff, please bring the witness a few replacement cushions. Too many. Crotch and face.
So what was his unexpected thing you noticed? Oh, come on, he's on a set of few cushions, not a few dozen.
And now that we've all had a good laugh, please continue, Miss Sykes.
Who's laughing? Ah, focus, Athena. Don't let yourself get rattled. When you entered the room and saw your master slumped motionless over the table, you weren't the least bit shocked, Uendo. Don't you think that's a little odd? Is it though? The lack of surprise means you were prepared for what you saw. And I think I know why.
Well, we'd just be saying like he was expected him to find me dead.
The reason Uendo wasn't shaken when he saw his master's dead body is because he was zoned out. He hasn't entertained his guts. He knew about his master's death as the only option there. Uendo, I think maybe the reason you weren't shaken was because you already knew you would find your master dead.
Nice noise. It's the first time you made me laugh so far, man.
What? What kind of thing is that to say? You've got it all wrong. Oh, right. I just remembered something. I thought Shisho was just sleeping when I first saw him. Haha.
Yeah, but then you'd have seen him slumped in the bowl. And yeah.
You thought he was sleeping? It sounds plausible, but... What made you think he was asleep?
Well, he had his head and arms up on the table as if he were taking a nap. Did you now?
Oh, and one other thing. There was that note too. A note? What note? Ah, you must be talking about this. It appears to have been written by the victim. Allow me to read it. Resting. Do not deserve.
Deserve? Do not deserve. Yes, we'll miss the T.
Yes, that's a note I saw. After reading that, who wouldn't think Shisho was napping?
That is a pretty reasonable assumption.
You've got to be kidding me.
That's torn off of something too. I'd like to see where the rest of it came from, or where the rest of it is. A note thought to have been written by the victim before his death.
That's right, I saw this note, so that's why I thought Shisho was asleep. I want to change my testimony to include that statement. Alright, I'll run an update. Right, so now we've got... After my performance, I went to visit Shisho. I called him from outside the room, but he didn't reply. When I opened the door, I thought he was sleeping. Now no emotion whatsoever. Something seemed off, so I rushed over to him. Why are you angry? I was shocked to find him dead. I couldn't believe my eyes. Now you've got the sadness and the surprise. Okay. No emotions when opening the door. I thought you'd still be happy as well. Why are you angry? What's wrong with you? It's gotta be that.
Got it!
Uendo, I noticed something funny in your emotions again. Funny, you say? I guess an entertainer of my caliber can make people laugh even with my emotions. I didn't mean that kind of funny. Quite the opposite, actually. When you entered the dressing room, I see that you suddenly felt anger. What I want to know is, what made you feel angry all of a sudden? What, let's see. Oh yeah, now I remember. As I was going in, I whacked my little piggy on something. I was annoyed at my own clumsiness. Wait, you mean you stubbed your pinky toe? Just a little bump on my little piggy. No, big deal. It's embarrassing, really. Sounds more like he's hiding something. I'd better dig a bit deeper. No need to be embarrassed, Uendo, but I'm afraid it's something we do need to look into. I don't really see anything you could have stubbed your toe on. In the area around the dressing room door in this picture. But maybe there was something there at the time. Uendo, what exactly did you stub your toe on?
Objection.
What an irrelevant question. You dishonor the soul of the victim with these unnecessary delays. You tell her, really? Who doesn't stub their toe every once in a while? You really gotta fuss over every small detail like this? Well, the thing is... Even the most subtle of fluctuations in a person's psyche can clue us into the truth. That's why it's important to get to the bottom of this question. Plus, if I back down now, who knows what new insults I will hear my way. Is there really no trace left of what Uendo stubbed his toe on by the door? By the door stub his toe? What in the world might have been there then, but is not there now? That's the point. I was just like silent then because I was looking and I did notice something weird. Right, well I was looking around going, so what could there have been? It would have been bad if it was the cleaver used for the soba, that's for sure. You could have stubbed his toe on the food thing on the floor there, whatever's in that thing, but you know, that's unlikely because that would have moved and wouldn't have hurt half as much. So it's got to be something hefty. It would have been the table because of course he was on the table and that hasn't been moved. But if you notice, that's probably why there's a refrigerator open with a light on. And why was it open in the first place is what you got to say. But the light on is actually the key part here. If you look over at the power outlet, there is something that is not plugged in. Like it has been moved maybe. Is that what that is? Also, what's that bit of paper on the ground there? But apart from that, it's got to be something that's moved. Wasn't he listening to a TV show at the time? Wasn't he watching TV at the time? Maybe in a different position? Well, that's my only lead. That's the only weird, like, well, there's a lot of weird in the room, but that's the only, like, straight... Is it? Is it not?
Take that!
Can you take a good look at this photo of the crime scene? I think I got it. Did you see it? Oh, I didn't even look at it on there. There's a long track that goes from the door all the way across the room. Now that you mention it, I do see traces of something getting dragged. Oh my god, it would have been conclusive if I noticed that. I just noticed the power cable's not in. And the drag mark ends there, at the TV. This implies the TV was originally by the door. I'm convinced this TV is the object the witness stubbed his toe on. Well, Uendo, how about it? Yes, you're right. It was the TV. But that still leaves us with 10% noise. There, the noise level dropped again. But not enough just yet. For we end another episode of Ace Attorney, Phoenix Wright, or more to the point, Athena Sykes, Spirit of Justice, right here. A therapy session is being conducted. 10% remains. Join me next time as we knock off the rest and maybe uncover some truths. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.